Hello and welcome back to Frog Watch. Today we're going to be releasing some of these tadpoles back into the pond. So in this tank we've got far too many tadpoles for the size of this tank. It's a 12-litre tank and I don't really want more than about 20, maximum of 30 in there. And as the tadpoles get bigger, they're going to need more and more space. So at the moment we've got a lot in there. Now they were very, very small. Obviously over the last few weeks they've grown quite a lot. So there's definitely far too many in there now. We have to get rid of them now before they get too big. If there's overcrowding can be a problem. It will make the water a lot dirtier and they can turn into cannibalism if it gets overcrowded. So we want to try and minimise that. So we're going to try and catch some in the jar and we're going to take them back to the pond where we got them from and we're going to try and release some. Right, so I've got a jar with some tadpoles in. They're very difficult to catch. I definitely want to release more, but that's about as many as I can get in one go. So we're going to take these into the pond. We're also going to check out and see how the tadpoles in the pond are doing. I haven't been back there for probably about 3 weeks, so it'll be really interesting to see how they're developing there. So let's go. The edge of this whole pond there are countless thousands of tadpoles here. So it looks like they were successful, they've hatched out and yeah, they're doing really well. There's some pretty sizable ones in there. So we're going to take our few that we managed to catch and we're going to put them into the pond with the rest of them. And yeah, we'll just have to let nature take its course and see how they do.
If you do keep tadpoles and need to release them back into the wild, you must, if at all possible, release them into the pond you got them from. This will reduce the risk of transferring diseases from pond to pond. I do feel bad about releasing my tadpoles into such a poor quality pond, but I can't keep them all and I have to trust that nature knows what it's doing and that maybe some of them may survive.
So despite the apparent lack of life in this pond, there is food for them here. You can see them actually nibbling on some of this grass that's here. There's definitely algae and things growing in the pond. There's definitely plenty of food source for them. And if worse comes to worse, they will resort to cannibalism. They will start eating each other, and that's probably where a lot of these will go. Life is hard for a tadpole. There are many predators that will happily eat them. We've seen a crow by the edge of the pond, and that was eating on some of the tadpoles. So you know, only a few of these will survive. There are thousands and thousands in this pond, but probably only a few hundred will actually survive to adulthood. It's tough, it is tough, but we have to trust in nature, and if it was too tough there wouldn't be any frogs to return to the pond, so we know that life here is successful, even if it is going to be quite difficult. So one of the things about Frog Watch over the last few years has been not just about the tadpoles and frogs, but about the other creatures that you find living in and around the pond. Now, one reason I've been finding it so difficult to make videos this year is because the pond that I've used over the last few years has been filled in and no longer exists, and I don't have easy access to the pond. It takes a little while to get out here to this one, and if you look behind me, there's not an awful lot here. The water is really muddy, so even if there are things living in here, apart from the tadpoles, I can't see them. I've seen a few pond skaters and things about, but there's not much else here. So if we want to find some other interesting things, we probably need to go to a different pond.
Like this pond I saw earlier in the day. Here we have a nesting swan. There are a few species that live in Britain, but this could be a mute swan, although I could be wrong. Both the males and the females will incubate the eggs, so this could be either. Swans are almost entirely herbivorous, although they will occasionally eat small aquatic animals, including small fish and frogs. I didn't see any evidence of tadpoles in this area, but I did see fish, and that's probably why. Fish will happily eat tadpoles, so where there are fish, you are less likely to find tadpoles. That's all I have for you this week. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll come back next Sunday for more Frog Watch. Goodbye.